Hi, my name's Cayla and I'm really excited to lead you through your parent tip this week. So we're going to be talking about parenting in times of uncertainty, which my goodness, that just sums up just about everything about this year. So my first tip for you is to lead and model your parenting in a style that is flexible, that things can come and go, and that life has unexpected changes, and kind of normalizing this. This one's kind of two-part because I want you to focus on having a flexible mindset, but also leading with empathy when you talk about these things. So say, for instance, your child's school gets shut down and they turn to online learning. A simple response could be, "My goodness, I'm so sorry this happened to you." Sometimes life there's unexpected things that happen and kind of take us for a turn, but you're able to do this. So almost like advocating for them and supporting them through it shows them that yes, they can still do it, and yes, it's gonna be okay. I think the other part of it is the little tough love that says life isn't always perfect, and kind of build some resilience in them to knowing that, okay, things might not always meet my expectation, but that's okay. Because then when you model that, then they learn how to do that on their own in their own thinking. I think another good one that goes alongside of that one is normalizing uncomfortable emotions right now. I feel like this one is so strongly to all the preteens out there who are having like a hard time navigating and putting language to their emotions to begin with. So then pour out like COVID and like all this unexpected and the election going on, like that's having an effect on them. So anything you can do to talk to them about their emotions. I have like an emotions wheel I use for my clients where they kind of point out like what emotion they're feeling and why. So just some simple basic language of, hey, like what are you feeling today? How are you doing? Checking in on them and just realizing and normalizing the fact of, yeah, you're not gonna always feel happy all the time. Or yeah, like normalizing, like sometimes we're gonna feel like not great all the time, especially in seasons that feel like up and down and all over the place. Another one I like, especially, that's always a good one to remember, honestly for always, is space before answers. So I like this one especially for the older teens, kind of like 14, 15, 16, kind of getting a little bit older because they're learning how to construct things for themselves, and they need that space in their brain to actually develop things and do things and think critically for themselves. So I tell my parents all the time, like, okay, are you giving space before you're giving answers? Because yes, there's a time for answers, and it's so easy to butt into your teen and say, hey, have you tried this? Or why don't you think about it this way? Because we want them to think differently, but the reality is that's not their reality. And oftentimes when you give them space for it, they may figure it out for themselves. So just encouraging space before answers will go a long way in your child and teen's development. Next one is a big one. Think about and recognize all the ways remote and online learning has had an effect on your child. Honestly, even if they're still in person, it's had some effect on them because it looks differently. They're wearing masks, they're socially distancing. It looks very different, and kind of their social life has been taken away in a lot of ways. So I love this one because I want you to think about all the things and adjustments you've had to make personally. And guess what? Your teen's going through the same things. So make this an opportunity to bring you two together rather than tear you apart. Because it's frustrating, I know, but at the same time, your teen's going through the same things you're going through. So some practical advice I know I've heard from a ton of my clients is they're really having a hard time figuring out, what do I turn in person and what do I turn on Blackboard, and kind of scheduling things. Kind of a practical tool you could do is like tell them how you've had to adjust your schedule to fit in the norms of COVID and everything going on. And then say, hey, do you need help with your scheduling, or how can I help you with all these adjustments you've had to make? So kind of model and lead from your own experience that you've had with COVID and all the adjustments, and then see how you can help them, and what's been beneficial for you could possibly be beneficial for them as well. Lastly, and this is kind of different per teen, but think about how much, again, COVID has affected the social life of your teen. Because right now, parents, I know that they love you and they enjoy having family time, and you enjoy that too. But my goodness, this is a time where social life to them is everything. So especially for those with online learning, make sure you're seeking out opportunities that feel safe to you and your family for your child to get out and be with their friends, to go hang out and still get that social time, even if it's online or in ways that, again, that you feel safe, but they're able to hang out with their people, because that's so important, especially in times of isolation and online schooling. Again, I'll be thinking and praying for you all. I hope that these tips helped in this time of uncertainty and just kind of normalizing the process. And again, remember, they're going through exactly what you've been through. So kind of use that time to enter into that space and relate to them. Thanks so much for listening.